Thank you. My name is Dr. Robert Koresh, and I could talk about astaxanthin for a week non-stop. But today, however, I've got 20 minutes to convey to you what astaxanthin is, why it's the most powerful antioxidant on the planet, and why you and each one of your loved ones and all of us in this room should contain some astaxanthin within our bodies. So, you know, this is not high-powered. I'd like you all to sit back, relax, pay attention, and just let the concepts sink into you, okay? And let me see what I can teach you today. Well, the word is out on astaxanthin, and this is thanks to word of mouth. We can thank the media, and we can also thank research. As Bob just said, that back in January, Dr. Oz mentioned that astaxanthin is one of the most critical antioxidants that we need to fight free radicals. Joe Mercola wrote a couple of nice articles in November and December when he got excited when he discovered astaxanthin. And I think it was he who said, is there anything that this astaxanthin can't do? Nick Perricone dedicated a nice section of his book on skin health to astaxanthin and also gave it a nice mention on Oprah. And Mike Adams also had some very nice things to say about astaxanthin last year. And so I say, who's next? And this is a play on the words, of course, because it could well be the World Health Organization. We are also witnessing an increasing rollout with research on astaxanthin in human clinical trials. And the results so far are only confirming what we already knew from animal studies, that astaxanthin is the most powerful antioxidant. Well, where does astaxanthin come from, and what is it? Well, you'll find astaxanthin in salmon, you'll find it in krill, and you'll also find it in shrimp. And actually, the actual red flesh color of salmon is astaxanthin. However, the most abundant source and the most concentrated form of astaxanthin is made by this little microscopic algae called Amatococcus pluvialis, H. pluvialis for short. And during times of stress, environmental stress, such as a drought or changes in pH or nutritional deficiency, this little algae will manufacture a red carotenoid called astaxanthin. And this astaxanthin will protect the algae until conditions improve. And it has been well recorded and very reported that this microalgae can survive up to 30 years. Get this, 30 years without any water. And then when the water returns, the algae resume as though nothing ever happened. It's all because this astaxanthin provides a dome of protection, a shield against free radical damage to the microalgae. Now, I submit to you, imagine if we can have that kind of antioxidant protection inside ourselves. And I'm here to tell you that you can. Here's a few more clinical pearls. Astaxanthin crosses the blood-brain barrier. So astaxanthin provides neuroprotection to the brain and the spinal cord. And in medicine, when we use the words such as risk equivalence, for example, high cholesterol would be a risk equivalent for a heart attack. Smoking would be a risk equivalent for lung cancer. What we're saying here is that astaxanthin can help to prevent dementia. It can help to prevent strokes. It can help to prevent Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, all these other neurodegenerative conditions, because all of these conditions I'm talking about are caused by free radicals. And we already know that astaxanthin can handle more free radicals than any of the other antioxidants. And also, not all the other antioxidants can pass through the blood-brain barrier. Astaxanthin can. So it can protect this very holy sanctum in here. Astaxanthin crosses the blood-retinal barrier, so it offers protection to the retina, the macula, and also the lens. And here's something that, in all the lectures I go to, I never hear about this, but I think this is a critical feature. Astaxanthin never becomes a pro-oxidant. It never switches teams and becomes a free radical and causes damage. There are lots of other antioxidants, including vitamin C, that at some point will actually switch teams, become a free radical, and cause damage. Astaxanthin never becomes a pro-oxidant. And when you come down to the booth, I can explain this. This is called electron resonance sharing, and I'll explain the science of that if you have time to come down. And we already know that astaxanthin can handle more free radicals than any other antioxidant. I put this slide in just to remind you that the process of inflammation is made up of multiple pathways. It's not a single discrete highway. And astaxanthin reduces inflammation by targeting each one of these pathways, unlike aspirin or ibuprofen or Celebrex or other prescription medicines, which are single-hitting and may hit one of these pathways, leaving the others unopposed. Astaxanthin hits all of them and without the side effects. Rheumatoid arthritis, probably the most severe of all the arthritides. We found that the rheumatoid patients who took astaxanthin within 2 months experienced a significant reduction in the pain scale. The red is the Bioastin. Now, this is pretty impressive. This is a non-prescription nutraceutical, and look at the kind of frame, the improvement we got here. Imagine, if it can do it with the most severe type of arthritis, what it can do for the everyday typical osteoarthritis. And our consumers confirm this. 83% of users experience less pain, 60% experience increased mobility, 75% found that Bioastin works the same or better than over-the-counter medications. More than half found that Bioastin works the same or even better than prescription anti-inflammatories. And finally, astaxanthin provides internal protection from ultraviolet radiation. So it reduces inflammation. It reduces sunburn by a factor of 2. That means you'd have to sit out twice as long to get sunburnt. But more importantly, astaxanthin reduces the mitotic conversion of normal skin cells to cancer cells. And I want to remind you all that skin cancer is the #1 cancer on the globe. And you can come by and ask me the mechanism, how this works, at the booth sometime. And there are plenty of studies, and this seems to be the hot area right now, showing that astaxanthin prevents photoaging. Astaxanthin prevents the formation of wrinkles, it increases the elasticity, it increases the tone, it maintains moisture levels, it reduces the amount of age spots, freckles, melasma, discolorations in the skin. And this is why this particular product, and astaxanthin, is a scorching hot commodity in Japan and in Asia, because they already know about it. And that really wraps up my very short presentation on astaxanthin, but hopefully you've got a better appreciation of what astaxanthin is and what it can do. And you'll understand why we at Nutrix are very excited and believe that astaxanthin is going to play a huge role in our healthy future.